Hey, what's up? Today's video, we have a very special video. This is the ultimate finale of ranking every single year in MCOC champion-wise, that is. If you don't know, over the last couple of weeks, I think we're almost a month into the series, we have took every single year and we took their top fives from each year, and we also had some honorable mentions. If you haven't already, this video should be linked in the playlist with all the videos in order, or if not, just go to my channel and watch them all, because this kind of spoils everything, which you already kind of got it spoiled. But we talk about every champion in a little bit of detail too, just to kind of go over their kits and whatnot, and why they are the top five from that year. So I've been hinting at this for over the last couple weeks, and I basically want to make a video basically ending the series, wrapping it up, going over every single year and ranking them amongst each other. So the way this video is going to work is we're just going to take each of these and we're just going to rank them against everybody. So what that means is I'm not going to be considering other champions from each years, which is kind of unfair for some years and it's kind of fair for other years, because like for example 2014 and 2015, there are a lot of champions in those years that have never got a buff. Most of that year is actually champions that have never got a buff, whereas 2023, for example, everybody in that year has a usable kit in today's current meta. 2014 is not the same. So for this video, we're just going to be considering all top fives. Also, 2018, if you haven't watched that video, there was a tie for second place. That's why there is 6 here. That won't help their rankings anymore. Like, I'm not going to give them an extra ranking just because they have 6 spots, because all these lists I could have put a 6 and 7 spot. Anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and hop right in. So we're starting off with the 2014. I have them all just in order, and once we move down, they will take the place of a year that they are better than. So 2014, for example, is in first right now because it was the first year that came out. A very solid lineup here. Jugs, a very great attacker, very useful in attack. Iron Man, a newly ascendable champion. Now that Ascension is out for Iron Man, I personally would probably put him ahead of Jugs here, but in the tier list video, I said Jugs was the number one, and he still is probably the number one. I would probably say Iron Man is the number one nowadays because the Ascension. But that being said, that's not going to bump up their prowess or anything. And Hulk, Punisher, and Storm. These are all great characters. Now, 2015 has Doctor Strange, which I would say is probably the best champion. If he was released in 2014, he would be the best champion there. Magic, I would say, would probably be third in this year. I don't think she's better than these two. Venom, I would say, would probably be third as well. Deadpool, probably be third. And then Magneto would probably be better than Storm. So that being said, I personally think 2014, the top 5, is better than 2015. So 2014 will stay in the number 1 spot. 2015 will stay in the number 2 spot. Now, we move on. You guys kind of get the hang of this? Now, we get to the 2016 spot. 2016 is arguably probably one of the worst years in the game. This top 5 isn't anything special. We have Black Panther Civil War, who is ascendable, a great champion. Crossbones, who is also a great champion. Medusa, who is solid. Yondu, who is a great nuke. And Cyclops is a great champion. All these champions on this list are going to be great champions. But just kind of comparatively to each other top 5 list, I would say 2016 definitely doesn't beat 2014. I would say 2015, it's very close for 2015. I would say Cyclops is better than Magneto. I don't think he's better than Deadpool. Yondu is better than Magneto. Still think he's better than Deadpool. I would say Medusa is probably better than Deadpool, but I don't think he's better than Venom. Crossbones, I would say, is probably better than... I would honestly put Crossbones ahead of Magic. I'm a Crossbones glazer. And then Black Panther, I would put in that same spot. So that being said, I think 2015 still takes it. I think 2015 is still a better year. 2016 is just not better than 2014 at all. So, the list hasn't changed much. 2014, still the number 1 spot. 2015, still the number 2. And 2016, still the number 3. Now, this is where the list is going to change some. 2017 has a very solid lineup. 2017, just by looking at it, easily better than 2016 already. I think Stark, Spidey, and Kingpin are just way better. They would be the 1 and 2 for this year. Hyperion would probably be the 3 above these 3. And Ghost Rider, I would honestly say, would probably be the 4 spot. Archangel, I still would probably put in the back just because he is a 6-star locked and he doesn't have that much carry ability. So that being said, 2017, better than 2016. Now, to rank it against 2015, I personally think 2017 is a better year than 2015. I think Stark Spidey and Kingpin really, really carry. I think Stark Spidey, in my personal opinion, I like more than Strange. I would put him ahead of Strange. Kingpin is behind Strange. Hyperion is probably better than Magic. I don't know. He's pretty close to Magic, in my opinion. I'm not the biggest Magic fan, though. Magic probably is better. Ghost Rider, I would honestly put either in front of Venom or behind Venom. And Archangel, I would put in front of Magneto. So yeah, I think 2017 is the second best. I don't think 2017 beats 2014, though. I think Iron Man is probably... I think Stark Spidey is still better than Iron Man, but Iron Man and Jugs are better than Kingpin. I would say Hulk is behind Kingpin, and Punisher is probably ahead of Ghost Rider. So, my personal opinion, I think 2014 is still the best year that we've talked about so far, but 2017 gives it a run for its money. Now, we move to 2018. Better than 2016, no doubt. Heimdall, Sentinel, Red Skull and Sentinel, I almost think of the same thing. So honestly, I could take one or the other out, and it would just be the same ranking. So we'll just say Sentinel, Venom the Duck, Void, and Ghost. I believe is a very, very solid lineup. I do think it is better than 2018, and I honestly think it is better than 2015. Now, the question is it better than 2017? I think Heimdall is the best character here. I'm a big Heimdall glazer. I think Heimdall is easily better than anybody in 2017. I think Sentinel would honestly be the 2 spot in 2017. Same with Red Skull. Yeah, I think Red Skull would be probably the number 2 spot. Venom the Duck, I would actually say would be number 3 just with that relic. And Void, I think, is where we kind of step down. I think Void would be the number 4. That being said, I do believe 2018 is better. But once again, I don't think it beats 2014. And that's kind of crazy. We were talking about 2018 champs, and I think the lineup from 2014 is still better. And that is just because Juggernaut and Iron Man are carrying. They are... Iron Man, that Ascension buff, the fact that you can get him Ascended 2 pretty easily from this event. I mean, without spending too much money, you can get an Ascended 2, rank 5 Iron Man. He's one of the strongest characters in the game now just because he has that rank advantage. Also, Juggernaut is just Juggernaut. It's very, very close for me. I'm just a big glazer of this top 3, and Punisher is very solid. I think Storm is definitely the weakest link by far. Storm is definitely the worst out of both these years, but... For now, I think 2014 is just ahead of it, but I do think 2018 is the closest we've got. Might be a little crazy, but I do believe 2014 is still just a hair better. Now we move to 2019. I mean, we don't even got to ask questions about this. 2019 easily better than all these years by far. This whole top 5 lineup, I would take ahead of 2016, just like that, ahead of 2016. I think this top 4 lineup I would take probably ahead of 2015. I would say this top 2 I'm taking ahead of Stark Spidey, and then the top 3, the rest of everybody I'm taking ahead of Kingpin. Same thing here. Just the same story. I would take the top 2 ahead of Heimdall, and then the rest ahead of Sentinel. And then here, I just kind of the same thing. I think all 5 of these champions are great, and I really don't... It's going to be really, really hard to beat these 5 champions just because they are all so meta-relevant today in everybody's BG's decks besides Doom. But Doom, if you don't know, I use them on my free-to-play all the time. In my free-to-play Act 9, I completed Act 9 all the way through, and I use Doom almost in every single quest. He's still very meta-relevant today. He's just not in BG's anymore just because he has such a low health pool being a 6-star lock, but he's still amazing. So that being said, all 4 of these characters... meta-relevant. Doom isn't, but he is still very, very good in today's current meta. So yeah, 2019 easily beats every other year that we've talked about so far. Now, that being said, 2020 is a very, very solid year. 2020, easily better than 2016. I would say 2020 is probably easily better than 2015. 2020... I think I'm going to give it there. I don't think I can put it any higher though, just because Hitmonkey's amazing, one of my favorite champions in the game, but he really only has damage. He does lack basically in everywhere else. He is not that bad on defense. Mojo is one of the best AW attackers in the game, but I do feel Mojo kind of lacks in non-cosmic matchups, and if you're not ramped, it is kind of a struggle to get ramped. Tiger is just a very hard character to play. Red Guardian, Cosmic Ghost Rider, they're just amazing. They're just absolutely the best nukes in the game. Cosmic Ghost Rider, if he was a 7-star, he'd be one of the best characters in the game. He was a 6-star, and he's leading the charge of 2020. That's insane. But that being said, I don't... It's very hard to put him... Now that I'm... Man, this is so hard. I think these three are so very close in power. I think I'm going to give 2020 the edge here. And honestly, now that I'm looking at it and thinking about it, I think 2014 is not better than 2018. I'm just looking at it more. Like, Heimdall is so good. So is Sentinel. So is Venom. Like, all those characters are so good. I think that's where we're going to stop now. I think that is the perfect spot for this list. I was a little biased with Iron Man, but thinking about Iron Man non-biasly, he is not as good as I'm making him out to be. I'm just such a biased Iron Man lover because he is my first tech rank 5. That being said, 2021, once again, we're just moving up the charts here. 2016 is probably the worst year on this list. We keep moving up. I think it's easily better than 2014. I think it's easily better than 2018. I think 2021 is easily better than 2020. But I think this is where we stop. I don't think it's better than 2019. This whole top 5 is very, very good. I do have some nitpicks with Hercules, but I had to put him at the 4th spot just because basically any story content in the game outside of like the end of Act 8 and Act 9, Hercules is just perfect for. He's just made to just be a story content nuke. That being said, he hasn't fallen off. Once he is released as a 7-star, his stocks will rise. I do believe he's a little overrated, but this top 5 is just absolutely amazing. And now with Null being ascended, he once again got that buff. He's one of the best characters in the game. And then Chavez being ascended and Kitty Pryde becoming a 7-star is kind of crazy. With the Tiger synergy, she's just amazing. I don't think they beat 2019, but I do believe 2021 is that second best year. We only have 4 more years to talk about, and 2014 is still in the top 5. That is kind of crazy, though. But yeah, I do believe 2021 is the second best year in the game. I think it does beat out 2020 handedly. I just don't think it beats out 2029. This lineup is just absolutely amazing. Now we get into 2022. Once again, we're just going to start moving up the ropes. I think it's just handedly up here with these guys. I think it's easily here. And arguably, I think it's probably here. I think Hulkling is better than all these characters in the game, or all these characters right here. I honestly think Hulkling is probably... I think he would be just behind Sinister, in my opinion. Or he might be above Sinister. So they do have that buff from Hulkling there. I do believe Scorpion is a little bit drop in power, but Scorpion would probably be number 2 or 3 on this list. Captain Britain, I would say, is probably number 4. Same with Gallon, and I think Rintra would probably be where Nimrod is. That being said, I think 2022 is easily better than 2021. I just don't think it beats out 2019. I think 2019 still has those insane characters like Cole. Like, Cole is such a nuke and such a great story contest champion. Human Torch is a Mystic class shutoff. Doom is just an all-around great champion. Nick Fury has so much in his kit. It's just absolutely insane. And Sinister's just Sinister. Sinister is just like a perfect champion. So I don't think it beats out 2019, but it is very, very close. And that unfortunately does knock out 2014 of the top 5 best years in the game. So yeah, this top 3 is so great. And this top 2 is like arguably probably the best top 2 on this list. Hulkling and Scorpion are just very, very solid characters. You just can't get around them. So yeah, I don't think it beats out 2019, but it is very, very, very close. Now, we get into 2023, and I think this is where 2019's run comes to an end, unfortunately. But fortunately, because I believe 2023 is the best year in the game by far. Not to spoil the last 2, but we talked about this in the video. If we were doing the whole year as a whole, it wouldn't even be close. 2023, I think we talked about it in the video. Besides these 5 champions, I think there is 8 other champions in that year that are rank 5 candidates for my account. There is like 10 to 15 champions in that year that I would have no problem rank 5ing. There's not another year that, like, most of these lists here, not even the whole top 5 I would consider rank 5ing. In 2023, I have half the year I'm considering rank 5ing because that's just how good 2023 was. This top five is just absolutely perfect. Like, this is easily the best top five on here by a long shot. Like, I believe there is multiple gaps in between 2023 and 2019. And that's crazy. Like, Onslaught is the best character in the game. Beats out everybody on this list. Absman, easily probably a top 5 character in the game. Baron Zemo, probably a top 10. Same with Kate Bishop. Even though she is a 6-star lock, she's still probably a top 10 character in the game. I believe she and Ghost Rider are on that same level where if they would become 7 stars, they would be easily a top 5 character in the game. And as 6 stars, they are still some of the best characters in the game. And Ant-Man Future, I do believe, kind of falls off in power compared to the other 4, but I do think Ant-Man is still one of the best tech characters in the game. Easily a top 15 to top 20 character in the game. So yeah, this top 5 is just absolutely insane. It's just not going to be 2023. They had an absolute run. And that's also where the Deathless characters got introduced. Not all of them got released, but that's where we got the idea of Deathless. So 2023, MCOC was in their bag. That being said, we move on to 2014. Easily goes all the way up here. 2014 is just such a great year. And we're going to stop it right here for now. Let's look at this. Shothra, I believe Doom is a better Mystic, but Shothra is more meta relevant. I believe Jack is probably ahead of Doom, not ahead of anybody else. Count Nefaria, I would probably say it's ahead of these two. Not in damage, but in everything else, Count Nefaria is better than. And Serpent and Deathless Thanos, I do believe are better than Sinister. Serpent might not be better than Sinister, but I do believe Deathless Thanos is the second best character in the game. So that being said, 2024 actually takes the cake as the second best. That's 2 years in a row knocking 2019 out. When I made that video, I thought 2019 was going to be impossible to beat. But now it's in the top 3, on verge of becoming a top 4 year, not even a top 3. But yeah, 2024, I mean, the only thing about this list is, like, their top 5 isn't as strong as 23, without a doubt. But I do believe the top 3 is better than 2023's, but like Onslaught is better than all these characters, but I believe all these characters are arguably better than Absman, or at least Baron Zemo. Count of Fairy is better than Baron Zemo. Serpent is better than both these characters, and Deathless Thanos is better than both. So 2024 might be the better top 3 here. It's very, very close, but I do believe the back end kind of falls off in power. But yeah, 2024 was an amazing, amazing year. Last year was awesome. Or 2 years ago, actually. It's crazy that we're in 2026. Yeah, I don't think it beats out 2023. Now, we get into our final year. The video that we posted, I posted a couple days ago, but it actually came out today as we're recording this video. So when you guys watched this yesterday, weird how time works when you schedule ahead videos. But yeah, 2025. Arguably some of my favorite champions in here. So that being said, we're just moving up 2025 on the list. They're going to at least, we're going to stop at 2019 and we're going to go over this. So, 2025, an amazing year. Jean Grey, I wouldn't say is better than Sinister. I just like Jean Grey more. This is kind of one of the lists where Jean Grey probably doesn't need to be the best in this list, but Jean Grey is just so much better. Yeah, this top 5 is just so good. It's going ahead of 2019 at least. In 2024, Nico is such a great two-way. Carolina Dean is a solid two-way. Spider-Woman's a great two-way. Dark Phoenix is a great two-way. And Jean Grey is a great two-way. Where these 3 characters aren't really great two-ways. So easily better in 2024. I don't think it's better in 2023, though. 2025 was a very, very, very great year. And there were a lot of other champions in 2025, like 2023, that I would rank 5 besides the top 5. But that being said, I just think 2020 year, the top 5 is just way, way better than 2020. Or 2023 is way better than 2025. Sorry, there's a lot of 20s in this video. But yeah, like Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix are just absolutely amazing. S plus characters. Nico is an S tier character. Caroline and Spider-Woman are just great other options. Like 2025 was so great. But I still think 2023 takes the cake as the best year for champion releases in the history of MCOC. So, to recap, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12th place, we have 2016. This top 5 is alright, but compared to these other top 5s, it's just a no-brainer to put them there. 2015 is in our 11th spot. Still a very, very solid selection of characters. Just not the greatest year by far. 2017, still a great year, just not the greatest selection of characters. in the 10th spot. And then the 9th spot, we have 2014. It was a little biased at the beginning, but we kind of got out of that bias, and we do see 2014 isn't that great compared to other years. In the 8th spot, we have 2018. In the 7th spot, we have 2020, a year full of nukes. What is that? 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. In the 6th spot, we have 2021, which is a very, very solid year. I believe there is a big gap between 2021 and 2022, or 2021 and 2020. In the 5th spot, to start off our top 5, I believe 2022 takes it. A very, very great year. 2019 is our 4th spot. When I made that video, I thought 2019 was not going to be beat, and now it's not even in the top 3, which is absolutely insane. In our number 3 spot, we have 2024. In our number 2 spot, we have 2025. And ending this list, ending the series completely, in our first spot, the best year of champion releases in MCOC history, is easily, handedly, a 2023 year. What just a great year of champions. If you haven't already, go check those videos out. They will be linked in the description, maybe. This video should be in the playlist that all these videos are in. So if you want to go watch them and go kind of binge them, I have 12 of them to watch. But yeah, thank you all so much for the love and support you guys have shown me on these videos. These have been absolutely amazing to make, and I can't wait to start the next series up. Question of the day. What is your personal favorite out of all these years? What is your personal favorite, and what is your least favorite year out of all these years? I would say my personal favorite is arguably 2019 or 2023, and my least favorite is honestly probably 2015. Besides Doctor Strange, is kind of or 2016. But yeah, thank you all so much watching this video all the way through. Like, subscribe, do all that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.